Hi, I'm Daniel Lucas,
Hi, I'm Karen Deloach.
and welcome to Love Letters. Love Letters are a collection of love stories of people get lost, get crazy, and disoriented in the name of love. Another week, another great episode. How can I stay close to my grown children in the high tech world?
Okay, I'm going to read the letter for us, Daniel.
Thank you, Miss Karen, and please do so.
Dear Daniel and Karen, I've listened to love letters long enough to know that love wears many faces between partners, between friends, and perhaps most tenderly between parents and their children. Today, I write as a parent whose heart sometimes aches quietly behind the glow of a phone screen. Hmm. My kids are grown now, charting their own paths with courage and purpose. I'm proud of who they've become independent, capable, and full of dreams. Yet, in the midst of this high tech world where we're always connected and rarely present, I find myself missing the closeness we once shared, the laughter over dinner, the long talks that stretched into the night, moments that no message or emoji can totally replace. I don't want to hold them back or make them feel burdened by my longing. I simply want to remain part of their world, to be a quiet constant, a steady light they can always return to. But how do we as parents bridge the distance between generations when now life moves at the sound and the speed of a swipe? Daniel and Karen, your wisdom about love, grace, and family has guided so many hearts. I would be deeply grateful for your thoughts on how to nurture connection with our grown children, to love them freely while staying close, even when they live in their own orbits. Thank you for reminding us that love in all of its forms is still the greatest message worth sending. With warmth and hope, George.
Well, thank you, George, for that letter. And Miss Karen and I also have that feelings, don't we, Miss Karen?
We do, having grown children, it is a reality for our generation as we realize that they don't need us like they used to. I mean, it's true. I mean, it is a definite change. They call it an empty nest when the children first leave. And there is a definite feeling of loss and sometimes emptiness for the parents because their children, which they've successfully raised, which is our goal, isn't it? Isn't it, Daniel? We want them to
Yes,
become independent of us, but we didn't realize as we were raising them to be independent how much it was going to hurt.
true. George, let's talk about the timeless bond that you shared to your children. No technology can erase the invisible thread that binds a parent to their child. Love does not fade as they grow older, it simply changes its shape. What once was a bedtime stories becomes late night texts or shade photos. Accepting the love can be evolved allows you to meet your children where they are today. The bonds remains even if the form of new technology.
Yeah, it is a tech world that we live in. And the good part is that you're always only a text or a call away. And there is no long distance fees. We can even talk intercontinentally, no matter how far away. And I have children that are 6,000 miles away. So I understand the distance, the physical distance. And yet we're able, because of technology, to see each other through online videos and live uh, talking. And these things are possible now because of technology. So, on the one sense, George, as you're describing a technology that seems to feel like it's disconnecting you, it also conversely can be a method of connection, because it wasn't that long and many generations ago that once children left home, they were completely separated from their parents for long periods of time. And the parents might not have even known where they were or how they were for distances, waiting for what we call snail mail letters to arrive. So we're very fortunate on that side of the technology issue. We can stay connected, right, Daniel?
Yes. Reach out not from the emptiness, but from affection. When your message and calls spring from genuine joy instead of guilt, they feel like warm and not weight. Children sense the difference between pressure and presence. Start each conversation with something you celebrate about them. Love that leads heals the distance faster than any demand ever could.
Oh man, that's so true. It can't be that, yeah, they call us out of guilt, that we don't want them to do that. As George, as you describe, eating dinners and talking over dinners, and that's certainly something that you can arrange. Certainly not every night, but you can arrange times of celebration. My mother is still alive, and so we plan to do that every single month. We plan a time where we eat dinner, where we get to visit, where we spend time with her, because that bond, even with my mother, is still with us, not just with my children and grandchildren. The other thing that struck me, George, when you talked about the longing, and I know this is very real, and many parents feel this. You've spent and devoted so many decades, literally decades of your life, pouring into these young people. And even as you feel pride in their independence and they're moving towards their dreams, there is still that sense, wow, what do I do now that I don't have them every day in my life, even pulling on me like they did for so long? And that
True.
is a real question.
Yes. You know, George, curiosity builds bridges. Criticism builds walls. Ask them about their passions, projects, or favorite new app. Even if they are barely understand it, showing interest in what feels the world says. I care about you, not just about you used to be. When you listen with openness, you rediscover them anew. Every adult child still wants to be seen through loving eyes, and each generation speaks its own dialect of affection. Some prefer voices notes, or other quick memes or short video chats rather than resisting their methods. Experiment with and adopt. Meeting them on become part of their digital rhythm instead of an interruption. Right, Miss Karen?
Yeah, we don't want to be interrupting their lives, but being an addition into their lives. And it is hard. It's almost a tightrope walk of, not
Yes.
interfering, certainly not meddling, but being a presence that can bring life and wisdom and experience. And I know my children have old enough to love it when we tell stories about when they were children. Now that my children are parents themselves, they love to hear stories about when they were little, and so that's something that only we can bring to the table for them. But it's also important that that longing that you're experiencing, George, find another outlet because the relationship has definitely changed. It's not going to go back to what it was, and you don't really want it to go back where they're dependent on you. You want them to keep their independence even as you are still their backup. And I think that it sounds like you are the kind of parent that they feel that way about. It's just a matter of finding a filling of the emptiness that you feel as an empty nester now where your children are moved on. And there's so many ways to do that. You know, I'm a creative artist and my husband's a musician. And certainly any dreams that you might have had that you laid aside as you were became a parent, as you provided for your family and spent your life in those roles, what else was always in your heart since you were young that you maybe haven't had a chance to develop or explore? Now is a time that you can fill those places with your own creative outreaches.
Definitely. George's relationship thrive on rhythm. Establish small, repeatable moments, Sunday calls, shared playlists, or sending photos of family meals. These little rituals quietly say, "You still belong here." Predictable contacts feel safe, not forced. Over time, those simple patterns weave a new closeness. Plus, stories invite too, while sermons repel. Instead of advising, tell them what you've learned or you're learning or remembering these days. Vulnerability opens a door that authority often shuts. When you share your own growth, they see you as a companion, not a commander. Mutual storytelling turns distance into dialogue.
Well, that's really good. That's really good, Daniel. I love that. It is a new relationship and it's something that you can also pray about. How can I come along my grown children now that they don't need me to raise them anymore? But how do I change my in the way that I think about them, not just the way they think about me and my spouse and their mother, their parents, maybe even their grandparents. And I really believe that was always intended for us to be part of each other generationally, our parents, us, our children, and their children. And it certainly will change again once you become a grandparent, because now you can fulfill a new role in their lives, coming alongside of childcare or taking time to develop a relationship with their children, their spouses, and their children as well. And those are very fulfilling relationships too.
Young children autonomy is not a rejection, it's a proof you did something right. The confidence they show in steering their lives comes from roots you gave them. Remind yourself of that wherever you feel left behind. Pride softens longing into gratitude. Gratitude keeps the heart light enough to keep reaching out. And healthy love breathes. Too much closeness can smoother, too much distance can chill. Oh, I love that, Miss Karen.
Yeah.
Show them your trust their timing by allowing silence without resentment. Then, when they do reach out, greet them with delight, not a ledger of missed calls. This rhythm of respect builds lasting comfort.
And it's really important to forgive if they have been neglectful and they've hurt your feelings, or you've just recognized that they haven't fulfilled maybe some obligations or some appointments. Maybe you felt like they've put you on a back shelf. It's really important that you don't hold these things against them, as Daniel's talking about, that the rhythm of their life is fuller, it's busier, and you're not as big a part of it as you were. And sometimes that's a hard thing to accept, but it's really important that you do accept that you have a new role. And the truth is, you're going to know your children as adults way longer than you knew them as children. Yes, they're always going to be your sons and daughters, but now for the rest of their life and your life, you're going to be adults together. So naturally, you want to build a friendship that is full of mutual respect of them and the choices they're making, that hopefully they will also have respect for you and the choices you're making then and now. If there are things they're remembering that were wrong, you can ask forgiveness, because the truth is none of us have done it perfectly, right, Daniel? We've all made mistakes.
Yes. And
Mm.
we need to learn for those mistakes, George. We just keep and doing it, but we need to learn from them. Instead of mourning the digital age, let it work for you. Join their online world gently. Comment on a photo, share a memory, react their milestones. Technology becomes sacred when it used to bless, not a not to monitor. Send small notes of encouragement that appear like whispers of love in their busy feeds. The screen then becomes a portal, not a wall. Growth should never be one sided. Let them see you learning a new skills, apps, or hobbies too. This humility disarms defensiveness and invites connection. When you ask them to teach you something, you honor their expertise. Mutual learning keeps relationships alive and evolving.
That's good. As Daniel's talking about the rhythm of life, even the circle of life, the ebb and flow of our relationships. It changes, but it doesn't end, and it can have a deeper preciousness. I know as our children are grown and gone, it's caused my husband and I to get closer, to have a new freedom and depth with each other and fun, that we kind of spent a lot of time focused on our children, and now we can focus more on our own relationship together as a couple. It's new, and yes, we're older and it's changed also, but it's full of joy and mutual respect and opportunities to remember our own children's journeys and looking at our grandchildren and the new journeys that we have. So let you and your spouse find a new closeness if you still have relationship with each other. That's important too.
Truly, truly important. And George, adult relationships mature slowly. There may be weeks of silence followed by sudden deep sharing. Don't mistake quiet for absence. It's just often just life happening fast. Keep showing up with gentle consistency. Patience speaks love louder than repeated reminders. Even independent children need a harbor. Be the one they can always return to without fear of judgment. When storms hit their world, your calm presence will draw them back naturally. Safety nurtures closeness more than persuasion ever could. Be the quiet strength they can lean on.
That's really good, Daniel. That is really perfect in how we now relate to our grown children. And you can also keep some open invitations. I know families that say, okay, every Sunday afternoon after church, I'm going to have a big dinner, and whosoever will can come and eat. We come and enjoy a meal when you can, when your schedule allows, and see each other and maybe other siblings as well, and other spouses. So you can be a landing pad for everyone in the family, allowing your home to be a place of hospitality. If you don't have that situation, maybe you can have a restaurant or a favorite venue that can be someplace you can meet as a family, even if it's a park with a picnic. However, your family can make arrangements to have it open ended. That they can come if they can, and if they don't, you can enjoy that time yourself. So that's one very practical thing you can do.
Yes, indeed, George. Love letters don't have to be long. Sometimes three-word text thinking of you carries entirely inside it. Send mail or send small tokens, photos, or recipes that carry family memory. These gestures whisper, you are never far away from the heart. Repetition turns small kindness into unbreakable melody. Let your affection steady and unassuming. Don't assume anything, George, because if there are misunderstandings or misyears, acknowledge them with grace. An honest apology can melt decades of distance. Speak from ownership, not blame. Healing makes space for a new closeness to grow. Forgiveness offered freely often travels faster than Wi Fi. Oh, I love this. Definitely true. Right, Miss Karen?
Absolutely. That is so true. So George, we really appreciate this question, and like Daniel said, this is something we can relate to with our children getting older and becoming adults or already adults. It's the reality of life from now on for you, George. So find a way to accept and operate in it with the kind of grace Daniel's talking about, and continue to be open to whatever response they want to your willingness to be open-handed with the relationship.
Definitely, George. Parenthood does not end, it simply unfolds in chapters. This one may look quieter, more digital, but love underneath is eternal. Trust that every message, prayer, and moment of reaching out plant seed. In time, those seed bloom into renewed connection. Love, after all, always find its way home.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yes. And Mr. George, thank you so much for your letter, and for sure our listeners get, let's say, involved too because they're experiencing what you had right now.
Right.
So, Miss Karen, would you like to plug in something?
Yes, please join us once again next week for Love Letters, but also for our new podcast, Bible Verses 101. We are enjoying sharing from the Word of God, which will enrich in you body, soul, and spirit. So join us on Love Letters 101.
Yes, indeed. And another great episode. And tune in next week for sure. We will bring you the best of the best letter that we receive. So, Miss Karen, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. God bless everyone.
Modicon people, see you soon.